Hello and welcome. It's a new video and it concerns Onyxia and what you should or should not soft dress. To start with, I am playing my mage in this clip and you can see that we are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mages. Okay, so with that in mind, let's just do this. Okay, so Onyxia can drop 9 different tier 2 helms and she always drops at least 2 of them. However, out of those 9, at the moment, she will only drop 8 of them, not at the same time. What I'm trying to say is that on Horde, she will not drop Paladin helms, and on Alliance, she will not drop Shaman helms normally. Not in this phase, not at this point. Because of that, you need to think of a combination of 8 different items taken 2 at a time. There is a formula for that, but in short, that is 28. There are 28 possible combinations. However, because you can also drop 2 items of the same type, so for example, 2 Netherwind crowns, that's actually 28 plus 8, as in 36 different combinations. Out of those 36 different combinations, your item, your helm, the tier 2 helm you might be looking for, is present in exactly 8 of them. So what that means is that you've got an 8 in 36 chance of seeing the helm drop. That's not to say you'd win it, you would just see it drop. That's again 8 in 36. That's roughly 22.2%. But then you also have to consider how many mages are in the raid. And in this case, as you could see, there were 5 mages. Now with 5 mages reserving it, the Netherwind Crown for example, that would mean that you've got a roughly 4 point something percent, 4.4% chance of seeing Netherwind Crown drop and actually winning it. Again, we're talking about 4.4. The math is slightly different if 2 of them drop, but that's a bit of a special case. Okay, so because of that, I never reserved the Netherwind Crown. Instead, what I did was I went ahead and I reserved the Onyxia Hide back. That drops every single time. Usually only one of them drops, at least in my experience, but you could see 2 of them dropping. And in fact, in this raid, with this kill, 2 of them dropped, which was quite fortunate, I would say, because 2 people had reserved them. I was one of them, the other one was the main tank. Now, this is what I've been doing since the beginning with Onyxia raids. I have only reserved the backpack. Well, there are 2 reasons for that. Number 1 is that the crown will eventually become obsolete. It's kind of meh right now, in this phase anyway. The hat I'm wearing, the Crimson Felt hat, comes with 30 damage, whereas the the Netherwind Crown comes with 32 damage, an extra 2 damage to my Frostbolt. And it's not getting the full +2 benefit, as you probably know, due to the whole coefficient casting time thing. Of course, it does have higher intellect, stamina, and a bunch of, at this point, meaningless resistances, but the difference is marginal to say the least. Because of that, and because there was a 4.4 chance of me actually winning it, and that's, when I'm lucky, because with some raids you can see 6 or 7 mages, so in cases like that you need to think 3%. I have never bothered preserving it. The bags, however, will not become obsolete, as people will start having to carry around different sets of gear. For example, with warriors, resistance gear, DPS gear, tanking gear, diamond flask gear, and so on. What will happen is that eventually they will run out of space and everyone will want these backpacks. 3 phases from now, in the middle of next, when people are still going to do Onyxia, you're going to see these backpacks hard reserved. You can be certain of that. Oh, I should also point this out. On this occasion, Onyxia dropped the Rogue and the Warrior Helm. I have never seen her dropping the Netherwing Crown in this release. You can see that 2 packs dropped and there were 2 of us, myself and the main tank, who reserved them, right? Okay, so what I was getting at with the Wrath Helm and the Bloodfang Helm is that I've never been in a situation where, you know, the Netherwing Crown dropped and I was like, oh damn, I should have reserved it. Nope, it never dropped. So, and even if it had dropped, I would have had to roll against 5-6 other mages. So when you're going to one of these raids, you need to consider these things. Do I want to get something that's still going to be required later on? Do I want something for right now? Or perhaps do I want a different item, maybe a recipe, maybe, I don't know, Viscag, Deathbringer, whatever. In my case, I have no use for any other item here, really, other than the bags. The helm is nice, but I would say 2 months from now, you're going to get it because you're going to be the only person who still wants it in a raid. Everyone else is going to have it, and everyone else will want these bags. You can see that at this point I had 3 of them, which I won in a similar manner. Whereas with this raid, as you can see, the tank was stating, hey, you and me soft reserved the bag, so we win 1 each. And I said, yeah, we did, yep. And he was just rolling for the add-on. He was using our gold, so we were just rolling to roll to make the add-on work, right? Therefore, you know, the 2 of us rolled, but well, a bunch of other people rolled, but their rolls are meaningless, as I'm sure you understand. Soft reserve doesn't work that way. So, yeah, I just went ahead, traded him, and I got my 4th and final Onyxia hide backpack. I will not be needing any more of those. You could, in theory, try to get more for your bank, but it seems a bit greedy and it also seems a bit stupid, to tell you the truth. Now, let's try to take a look at the different raids. This right here. As you can see, being here, we had the Storm Rage helm and the 10 Storms helm, and of course I was the only person to reserve the backpack. At this point I only had 1. I already had this Ancient Cornerstone Grimoire. I soft reserved it once just for fun, for role-playing purposes and solo purposes, but I'm not gonna get into that in this video, right? So yeah, I guess it's up to you. You can go and you can soft reserve your stuff, your I don't know, 10 storms, netherwind, whatever, or you can do the math and see what you'd rather have. With me, with the raids I went to, this was the only time this year, the one I just showed you when I got my 4th bag, this was the only time that someone else also reserved the bag. Usually I was the only person to reserve it. So yeah, just something to keep in mind. The next time you go to an Onyxia raid, perhaps stop for a moment to consider whether you're really using that soft reserve the way you're supposed to. Thanks for watching and see you next time.